Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell, Youth Services Director at the B.B. Comer Memorial Library, and I appreciate you joining us today on Library Connection. I want to say a special thank you to TV47 for allowing us to do the program and let the community know about events that connect to the library or activities going on with us. Today, Miss Sylacauga is joining me. Isabella Powell is our Miss Sylacauga 2018. Is that correct?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell you, Isabella, I'm glad you're here today. I was at a Sylacauga Arts Council meeting when you spoke, and she spoke about her platform, and I was so impressed with your knowledge and the research that has gone into it, and we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Before we do that, tell them about yourself, where you're from, and school, and things like that.
Sure. So I'm Isabella Powell. I am now Miss Sylacauga 2018. I'm sad that I have to give that title up soon, but I was previously Miss Marble Valley, so I gained a little bit of knowledge about the area of Sylacauga when I was that, and Mary Kelly was Miss Sylacauga during that time.
That was a fun time.
That's when I got to know you, but I've really just enjoyed serving the community of Sylacauga, but I have a family of four. We are a family of four. My little brother David, he is 12 years younger than me, but he's a blessing in disguise. We adopted him 9 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
And then I have two loving parents who are also musicians, and they've kind of taught me everything and kind of directed my career path as I'm pursuing a career in vocal performance as well.
And have a beautiful voice. I'll have to stop there. I've heard you sing several times.
Thank you so
beautiful.
much.
I can tell that you've studied and practiced and just have that talent.
Thank
too.
you.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Great.
But I'm happy to be a senior at the University of Alabama this year, majoring in vocal performance, and I'm just so excited to see how my career path goes after that.
That's right. Well, we are very excited too to hear that.
Awesome.
Now, every girl that competes in the Miss America pageant program has a platform. Would you kind of explain what that is and then what your platform is?
Absolutely. So I've been competing in the Miss America organization for 5 years now, but in the last year and a half, I kind of did a shift in my platform, which is now called Give Me a Break, providing sensory rooms for children with special needs. And so that really was inspired by my little brother David, who I previously mentioned, but we adopted him 9 years ago, and
there's your logo right there.
Oh yes, I see it there. I actually created that myself. That monkey reminds me of David. So, but when he was adopted, when we first got custody of him, he was passed around to 7 different foster homes before we even received custody of him. And so you can kind of imagine the anxiety and all of the turmoil that goes with that. And so coming into our family was very different for him. It took him a while to adjust to our family and accept us. But after a year and a half, he seemed like he was just a normal child until the year of 2016. And that is when he received his diagnosis of a special needs brain disorder entitled RAD, which stands for Reactive Attachment Disorder Syndrome. And so after some time in that year, we had to hospitalize him and do other things to receive this diagnosis. But I will say that it was definitely worth it because he was introduced to sensory therapy. And so that is where I received that inspiration for my platform in creating sensory rooms.
Sensory rooms. Now, these are rooms in schools, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I have to say, I was very impressed. I've said that over and over again, but I know I've taught school before, and, my first thought is, it's just a room where if children are having a meltdown, that's where they can go. It's a nice, safe place. But that's not, that might be one use, but that's not the real, the only use of that room.
Right.
They can go there to just kind of calm down, and you can tell much better than I can what
well,
they do.
You're right, that's not the only use, and some people think of it kind of as a playground or much like a classroom, but it's much different. It's a much different environment. It is a place for the children to kind of escape, because what I've learned in some of my research is that a majority of these children who are diagnosed with special needs brain disorder, or special needs disorders rather, are also diagnosed with something called SPD, which stands for sensory processing disorder. And so just to kind of put this into a perspective, this is kind of the child that you see that might be bothered by bright lighting in the classroom, or you see a random child do a meltdown inside of the lunchroom because there's so many things going on around him or her,
noise,
and
so much activity.
Right, and so they're overstimulated. And so what this disorder is where, you know, our brain normally filters in information and it's organized and it works that way, but their brains filter in the information, but it's not organized properly. And so that's what causes these inappropriate reactions where you see them have these meltdowns or just randomly act on an aggression or hyperactivity. And so this is an opportunity for them to go inside of the sensory room and have something called a sensory break, which is like 10 to 15 minutes a day, and they can have 1 or 2 breaks a day where they have this break, and they're actually able to use this equipment to lower their cortisol levels inside of their body, which completely changes their brain chemistry enough to reset for the entire day and then return to the classroom to learn better.
That's great. To me, what I hear is that's helping them manage their own needs. And as children get older, they, you know, if they have this, they're going to need to learn to manage it, and that's a wonderful.
And part of my program is kind of just educating. Like you said, a lot of people kind of have a misconception about sensory rooms, and so it's really important that everybody realizes that when a sensory room is provided, it is there to help these children and the teachers, because it's a complete game changer. I mean, the teacher no longer has to worry about what to do with this child, you know, if they're providing a disruption, and so it's really another option for them.
Wow. Now, do many children suffer for, or have these needs? Not suffer from, I'm sorry, that's a bad way to say it. Do a lot of children have these special needs?
Yes, ma'am. They actually say 1 out of every 6 children has this SPD disorder, which means if you have, say, a classroom of 20 children, that means probably 2 or 3 children have this disorder. And so a lot of them are undiagnosed, but those diagnosed, it's our job to help them. And so I've taken it upon myself to help them in the area of their sensory needs.
Well, that is great. We're going to pause for a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and look at some of the things you would have in one of these rooms.
Yeah.
So I hope you'll join.
Hi, it's Shawnee McNeil at South First Bank. This is a great time for you to buy or build a new home, or maybe refinance your present mortgage. Our rates are the lowest they've been in years, and that means saving you money. We've been helping our customers become homeowners in this area for nearly 70 years, and we can make our approvals right here in the office, and that means saving you time. We're located here in downtown Sylacauga. Come in and find South First, a better way to bank.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
As the Youth Ambassador for Get Healthy Talladega County's After School Healthy Meal Initiative, I want to share with you that the City of Sylacauga, as a Champ City, is working closely with SAFE to expand access to after-school meals. Help me spread the word to families that there are healthy meals available to children 18 and under. Every meal matters, and it all starts with you.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Isabella Powell, who is Miss Sylacauga 2018, and I'm glad you're here today. We're talking about her platform of Gimme a Break, right? And she was, well, I will let you go ahead and tell about the room. You have raised money to have a one-room built at Calera, where your brother goes to school. Yeah, right. And we have some slides of that, so we're going to look at that. So you can tell us the equipment.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what is that?
That's me doing the grand opening.
Okay.
The Shelby County Chamber sponsored that.
Great, great.
That's the overall view of the sensory room. You see a few of our equipment pieces there.
What's the round thing with the bars?
That's called a jumperoo. It kind of provides that trampoline feeling, but also it helps them like climb on monkey bars. It's kind of a 2-in-1 kind of thing.
Okay. And I say, yeah, the floor is soft carpet.
Right. It's kind of a spongy flooring, so you know if they fall, you know they don't get hurt. So it's really a safety a safety thing, but those are just some beanbag chairs for them to relax in. And that green thing, it's kind of hard to see, but that's called a sensory snake, and it's actually weighted for them to wrap themselves in. That's actually my brother's favorite thing in the sensory room. So.
How neat.
These are compression vests, and then the blue one is a sensory sock that they can wrap themselves in.
Okay, a compression vest. What is that?
A compression vest, or some people call them weighted vests. They have bean bags inside of them. You can take them out and remove them, or you can put them back in, but it's just a weight that provides kind of that compression feeling of a hug, or them just being wrapped for those children that need that feeling. David is one of those children.
Yeah.
So.
I think of it like a hug. That it's like you just somebody loving you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Great. Oh, no, what is that?
That is a bubble lamp. We use bubble lamps instead of lava lamps because it doesn't get too hot. But the cool thing is you see there's fish floating in there, so they love that. But it also changes colors every once in a while, and it also provides a buzzing sound. And so you'll see a lot of children just pressing their face against it to kind of hear that buzzing sound.
Oh, is that calming, or to some children?
It's very calming, yes ma'am, specifically to autistic children.
Okay. I've always heard fish, if you have a fish tank in your dentist office, that's a very common, and that's true. You can just sit and look at the fish. And I don't know if it's me, they're just floating and swimming, and it just calms me down. I don't know. And
yes, definitely.
Great.
For sure.
Oh, I was so curious about this.
Yeah, so these are called fiber optic strands. I never thought about using it in a sensory room until I started researching them, but these are really just really light strands. They're almost like tinsel. I mean, they're that thin. Fun. And so it has a little remote where they can change colors. It can go in like rainbow style, or it can just stay on one color like it is there. And also we created a box so that it hangs down from the wall, but a lot of children just like to wrap themselves in it like a shower almost. Oh, wow. And so that it provides a little bit of warmth, but also just the feeling of it is very, it fulfills their sensory needs that way.
And the whole room must be not dark, but dim, right?
Right. We cover it with some light filter shades is what they call them. Because a lot of children, like I said, are bothered by bright lighting, but also I heard that autistic children can hear a fluorescent light buzzing at a B flat. Can you believe that?
Oh my goodness, no!
Yeah,
I had no idea. Wow.
So when they can hear that, it's really bothering to them, but we try to kind of minimize that.
My goodness, how much research! I can't imagine what you've had to do.
You can never learn enough about these types of things. But the good part about my program that I'm providing for each school that I insert a sensory room into is that I provide a training for each teacher that is going to help the student use the sensory room. And so that's very essential because, if you have a sensory room and don't know how to use it properly to help the children, it's kind of useless.
Right.
But through this process, I have had a partner. Her name is Stacy Gibbons, and she has been successful in creating 8 sensory rooms in Athens, Alabama. Right. So she started this process, and we are intending to finish it together. Good. Hopefully one day we'll meet in the middle, in establishing sensory rooms all over the state of Alabama. But she's helped me in so many areas as far as training the teachers, as far as knowing what these children's triggers are inside of the school system, just educating the general population about what this is for these children and how it can help them. But also she had an entire spreadsheet laid out that she said, I'm giving you this because this is how she orders the supplies for every sensory room. And so she helped me design every sensory room that I have so far. So she's just really been a great help so far.
That is great. That's great. Let's see if we have another slide so we can,
his name is Colin. Okay. He attends my home church, but that's him jumping on the jumperoo. Okay. And then I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
In the background are those balls with feet, so that can help with some balance exercises, but also they're able to check those out to their classroom if you have a child that wants some optional seating instead of sitting in a desk.
Right. And now the walls are what? That's just a concrete wall.
It's just a normal wall, but we chose to paint them a calming blue color so that it's not harmful to their eyes or anything like that. So it keeps them calm. It's a very calm environment.
Good. Now what's this?
We call this a pea pod swing. And so that stand provides kind of a swivel motion so they can twist in it or do whatever in it, but it really is for them to just swing back and forth. And it provides that cocoon feeling, it kind of encloses them if they want to kind of be, in their own world, but it's also provides kind of a dark space for them.
Okay.
And there you see the lamp filter, the light filters there.
Right, so it's not so bright.
Right, and we also hang lighting across the ceiling, you see there, up in the ceiling, so that it's not so dark in there. They still have a little bit of light. That's just a shelf of fidget toys. We have some gel pads that they can feel. There's also some home ec sound machines and other machines on there.
Okay. I see the lights.
Hard to see, but and some Theraputty. They like those to run their hands through.
Anything you
balls.
can touch and play with, I would think. Yeah, that's great. And that's just there available. Oh, I love this picture too.
Yeah, so that's Colin and my little brother David in the background. So that's gel beads. They love the gel beads. And funny story, when I was talking to Stacy about creating these gel beads, because they just come in like a little package, you don't really know what to do with them.
Oh, okay.
And she said, well, put them in buckets and make sure that you don't do it in the sink, though, because she said that the first time she did this, it's like 200 beads and they blow up to the size of like this big.
Oh my goodness.
And so she said the first time she did this, they overflowed and they completely clogged her sink. So she said, word to the wise, don't do it in your sink, do it in the bathtub.
So they're full of water.
Yes, ma'am, they are. Yeah, so they feel really good and they kind of have that cold touch to them. I like to run my hands through them even. So.
Well, I've taught school and I've seen kids that like to do just hold things, rub their hand, whether it's your hair or your arm or different things. So we all like that sense of touch. I think those are great, and they just run their hands through it.
Yes, ma'am.
For a calming effect or whatever. Great. I think there's a.
Oh, and there's the rocking chair. We like in our sensory rooms to provide that for the teachers specifically because we always want the teacher to be in a calm state, in a relaxed state, because we're asking the child to do the same.
Sure.
And then on the wall, you'll see that we have a timer. And so we train every child to, when the timer goes off, they set it for 10 to 15 minutes. When the timer goes off, they know that it's time to line up at the door, put their shoes back on with no fuss, and it's time to return to the classroom.
That's great. So now there's your brother.
Yes, that's me and my little brother. That was actually at his open house at Calera Intermediate School.
I bet he loves the room, doesn't he?
He loves it. We have to keep him from calling it his sensory room because he knows that I helped build it and I was involved in the process and he was there, of course.
Right.
But we have to say no. It's everyone's sensory room. You
get to use it, but everyone's there. That is great. Well, that is so impressive. I just love seeing all that.
Thank you.
We're going to take another commercial break and we'll come back and talk some more with Isabella.
Not getting a good night's sleep? Come into King's Mattress Outlet in Sylacauga and let us help you get that good night's sleep you deserve. We carry the best quality mattresses at the best prices from Restonic, King Cole, and Park Place. Eurotop Queen mattresses start at $199. Check out our Restonic Cabot Eurotop mattress with 1,000 individually pocketed coils, marvelous middle for back support, and comfort gel memory foam. King's Mattress Outlet in Sylacauga. Best quality at the best prices.
Hi, it's Shawnee McNeil at South First Bank. This is a great time for you to buy or build a new home, or maybe refinance your present mortgage. Our rates are the lowest they've been in years, and that means saving you money. We've been helping our customers become homeowners in this area for nearly 70 years, and we can make our approvals right here in the office, and that means saving you time. We're located here in downtown Sylacauga. Come in and find South First, a better way to bank.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
As the designated Champ City, Sylacauga is dedicated to being sure that every child has a healthy meal.
Join us in spreading the word that healthy meals are available to children 18 and under as a part of Get Healthy Talladega County's after school and summer meals program.
Remember, every meal matters. So get up and get moving.
Get healthy, Sylacauga. Get healthy, Talladega County.
It all starts with you.
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Miss Sylacauga 2018, Isabella Powell, and we're talking about the sensory rooms, make sure I say that right, that she raised the money and helped put together at Calera Middle School, correct?
Calera Intermediate.
Intermediate School, all right. Now these are not just items that you can go down to the local store and buy, so it takes quite a bit of money, I think, doesn't it, for each one?
Does.
Yeah.
When I first was talking to Stacy about the sensory rooms that she created, she told me that I needed a budget of about $3,500.
Oh, wow.
And so it seems like a lot, but through various fundraisers, I was able to raise that much for Calera Intermediate.
Good.
I sat down with the teachers and we kind of just put our calendars together and planned those, because I realized that as I began creating these sensory rooms for different schools, that really their number one problem of why they don't have these in place is the funding issue.
Probably so.
And so that's my number one goal, is providing those funds for them. But through, I started with a fish fry at my local church at First Baptist Church of Columbiana, and so we raised a little over $1,000 there.
Wow.
And then I spoke at various events, like my choir concert at the University of Alabama, where they donated there, and the Alabaster Pelham Rotary Club. That was a fun group of people, and they did a donation. I also spoke at the Beta Lambda Club at Jeff State, so that was fun. And then I also did a Chick-fil-A sensory night, which was really fun, because that involved the families and Calera, and they got to donate there. And I formed a relationship with Chick-fil-A, which was awesome. Oh, yes. Who doesn't love Chick-fil-A?
I know.
It's one of my favorite places, and now we have one in Sylacauga.
We're thrilled. We're thrilled.
Yes, I'm excited. But then I also was able to speak with the PTO group at Calera Intermediate, and I originally just went to them speaking about different fundraiser ideas, hoping to get the student body involved. And instead, they surprised me with a check that finished out our budget.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That was really a blessing, and we were able to raise a little over $3,000. So we almost made it to $3,500, but we didn't have to ask for another penny. We got everything paid for. And but really, my process of doing this is I provide a spreadsheet that lays out the specific tools that they've requested, as well as the specific tools that I normally put inside of a sensory room. And then it has, we order it all online on Amazon, and so I just provide that for the bookkeeper at the school after I form a relationship with the faculty there. And so I never touch the money. It strictly goes to
has to go through all those proper channels.
Right. But so I've been very fortunate to have worked with all of these people that have made this happen, and now I'm in the process of creating 2 more in Sylacauga. We just had those funded because
that's wonderful.
I did a bingo night that I'm sure you heard about, so that was a lot of fun because I got to meet a lot of new people in Sylacauga. And I've done, I think they did a hat day at Pinecrest, which was really fun.
So the kids can be involved. That's fun.
There's a lot of cute pictures with those students, and just different fundraisers, some community sponsors, things like that. And so we were able to raise enough money for both of those sensory rooms, one at Pinecrest and one at Indian Valley.
And so hopefully during the summertime or into the beginning of the school year to get those ready, right?
Right. We're excited to have those open hopefully by the fall of this year.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's great. And I know the parents are glad and grateful for the work you've put into this, and the children will certainly benefit from it. And even if we don't have a child with these needs, we probably know someone.
Of course. And that's what I've really taken away from all of these experiences, is that you do know someone who has been affected by some type of special needs disorder. And I will tell you, my first open house at Calera, it was so heartwarming because I had an open house, and a lot of the children from the community got to come and experience what a sensory room is like. And I had one of the autistic children come and give me a huge hug and said that this is the best day of my life. And so
that makes it all worth it there.
I know. And so it really is so important for these children to have this experience and to have these breaks inside of their school day so that they can finally feel what it is like to be a successful child.
Yes, that's great. That's great. Well, we'll change gears just for a moment. The Miss Sylacauga pageant is coming up in August, and I know I would encourage girls to enter. Center also.
Yes, absolutely. It will take place on August 19th at Sylacauga High School. But I really so enjoyed my year as Miss Sylacauga. I just think this community is incredible. Wow. It is a very good community, and I'm sure you know that because
it's
you've
my
lived
hometown.
in Sylacauga all your life.
Yeah.
But I was so fortunate. I was so excited to be back inside of this community because I knew what it was like when I reigned as Miss Marble Valley. But I've been fortunate to place my platform inside of this community, and they've just been so supportive of it. I'm excited to see maybe some connections happening at the library, even with sensory needs.
Yes,
so,
I'm glad you said that. We are talking about doing a sensory story time. We've looked at it a little bit. Sarah and I works upstairs with me, and then our director, Tracy Thomas. We're looking at how to do it. I've been to a workshop. I mean, you don't just jump into it and do it. I mean, you've got to do some research, and I know you're going to help us with that, I think, a little bit.
Yes,
so we're looking to do that sometime in the future, not right away.
Exciting.
We're still getting things together, and I know we have several children in our area that I think would enjoy it. I think it would be a lot of fun. We've got about a minute left. Tell us about your time at Miss Alabama.
So Miss Alabama this year was so amazing, not just because I was Miss Sylacauga serving this community again, but also just because of the girls and the fact that, yes, it was my third year competing, but it also felt like my first.
Really?
Because last year I had to take a year off. Because I had some jaw reconstructive surgery. I had to have this surgery.
Oh, goodness.
Because it was beginning to affect my singing and my hearing, even my eating habits. And so I kind of had to retrain myself through that process. And it's a very extensive recovery process. But coming into this year with a new mindset and kind of a new take on life from the experiences leading up to that was just incredible. And so it opened my eyes to the opportunities of meeting these wonderful women that just find it so important to serve their community. And I'm glad to walk away as a top 8 community service finalist this year, and a total of $3,000 in scholarship money.
Awesome.
This organization has helped me in so many different ways, in scholarships and interview skills and public speaking skills and just living a healthy lifestyle. I mean, so many things. So I would just encourage any woman that is interested in this organization to get involved because it is so worth it.
Good. And I know I can tell just from knowing you a few years how involved you are in the community, your own community where you live, and then our community that you represent. And we appreciate that work because it's not easy when you're also a student.
It's not.
And you're a vocal student, so I know you have to practice and all those things going on, but you're making time to serve others and especially serve children, which I think is very special.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being with me today, Isabella.
It was
and be looking for those rooms to open at Indian Valley and Pinecrest, and we'll be hearing more about that, and we'll get back in touch with you about our sensory story time.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me today on Library
Thank you.
Connection.